Hi there, my name is Vince Karlabedis, and on this video we'll talk about multiplication with variables. And it's not an accurate title, it is more likely as multiplication with terms, not exactly variables. So let me make that terms so that you can all get what I mean by it. On my previous video, or in one of the previous videos, I explained what a term is. A term of an algebraic expression is any part of it which is being added. And then we saw that in order to add two terms, these two terms need to be like ones, which means that they should have the same variable parts. This means that in terms of addition, let's write that here, I can only be adding 2x plus 5x. So that should be 7x. I could only be adding 3x squared y plus 6x squared y, which is 9x squared y. So to add two terms, these need to be like terms, which means having the same variable part. However, now when we want to multiply them, we can just write that we can multiply any two random terms without caring whether they are like terms or not. How can we do that? We multiply same parts together. This means, for instance, numbers with numbers, x's with x's, y's with y's, and so on. I think that we will understand clearly the whole process through the following examples. Let's multiply 3x squared and 4x cubed. Based on what I just said, we need to simply multiply the similar uh, components of these two. First of all, numbers together. 3 times 4 is 12. So there is definitely a 12 on the result. And then x's together. X squared times x cubed should be the same as x2 plus 3, which is x to the power 5, which would be this. The answer would have been 12x to the power of 5. And the property I just used was that x to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of n is n plus m. Let's move to the next one. 2xy multiplied by 3x squared multiplied by 4x cubed. Again, I'll need to multiply the numbers together. So 2 times 3 times 4 should be 24. So the result will definitely contain 24. Then I should be multiplying the x's together. X times x squared times x should be the same as x1 plus 2 plus 1. So it should be x to the power of 4. So there should be definitely x to the power of 4 on the answer. And finally, the y's together. Y from the first. The second term does not include any y, so it's okay. We skip that times y cubed, which would still be y to the power 4. Y to the power 4. And that is the answer we were looking for. So it's 24, x to the power 4, y to the power 4. Let's do the next one. 2x squared multiplied by 3xy to the power of 4 multiplied by 3yz squared multiplied by xyz. Again, we should be multiplying the numbers together. 2 times 3 times 3, it's 6 times 3, it's 18. So there's definitely an 18. Then the x's together. X squared times x times x from the final one, which means x 2 plus 1 plus 1, so it should be x to the power 4. Then we should be multiplying the y's together. Y to the power of 4 multiplied by y, so y 4 plus 1 plus 1, it should be y to the power of 6. And then we have an extra variable here as well, so we need to consider that. We have z, so z squared times z, it should be z2 plus 1, it's z cubed. So z cubed, and that would have been the answer to this question. 18, x to the power 4, y to the power of 6, z cubed. Let's do some more exercises and we can continue. Let's do the odd ones. 3x times 2x. 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2xy multiplied by 3xy. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. And y times y, it's y squared. 5ab multiplied by 6ab. 5 times 6 is 30. A times a, it's a squared. And b times b, it's b squared. 4xy squared multiplied by 2xy squared is 4 times 2 equals 8. X times x is x squared. Y squared multiplied by y squared should be y to the power of 4. 9, 2a squared multiplied by 4a squared. 2 times 4 is 8. A squared multiplied by a squared is 8 to the power of 4. 11. 3x cubed y multiplied by 2x cubed y. 3 times 2 is 6. X cubed times x cubed should be x to the power of 6. Y times y, it's y squared. 13. 4 times 5 should be 20. X times x squared should be x cubed. And y times y squared should also be y cubed. 15. 2x cubed multiplied by 3x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. X cubed times x squared should be x to the power of 5. 17. 3xy cubed multiplied by 2x squared y. So 3 times 2 should be 6. X times x squared should be x cubed. And y cubed multiplied by y should be y to the power of 4. And finally, 4x squared y multiplied by 3xy squared. So we would get numbers together, 4 times 3, 12. The x's together, x squared times x is x cubed. And the y's together, y times y squared should also be y cubed. To recap what we just saw, although when we need to add or subtract two or more like terms, we need them to be like two or more terms, we need them to be like ones. They should have the same variable parts. When we just need to multiply them, we can do so with any two random terms. To do so, we just multiply the numbers together, the x's together, the y's together, the z's together, and so on. That would be all. I hope I made things more clear. If, however, you do face any difficulties or you have any questions that you need to share, please do so below in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching.